This is what $2,000 per night gets you in Bali. And this is what you get for $10. Bali is home to the most unique hotels on the planet, and for all different budgets. So I wanted to see what we can get starting at $10 per night, $100, $300, $500, and $2,000 per night. Since 2 months ago, I gave up my New York City apartment to travel the world, where I've been living out of hotels, which means I'm constantly choosing between cheap stays and luxury ones. So today, I wanted to find out if spending more is actually worth it in Bali. Let's see what we can get. And thanks to Hey Polo for sponsoring this video. So first up, we're going to see what $10 per night gets you here in Bali. Since my first time in Bali 7 years ago, I stayed in a $20 per night hotel for 2 months, which it was pretty good, but now I am curious to see what just $10 gets you. So let's go ahead to Missy Guesthouse. We gonna play and have some fun. So the location isn't bad. It's in the Canggu area, but it's kind of down all these side roads that are barely roads. Jeez, kind of got to do some off-roading to get there. All right, it should be just down this road. I must say, quite beautiful views of the rice fields. Well guys, we have officially made it here to Misi Guesthouse. And I must say, I am quite impressed with what you can get here for just 10 bucks. Since right in front of the property, just check out this unobstructed view of the rice fields. It's honestly not bad at all. So first up, we have our own desk area that even has some drawers that even come with a lock. There's also even this massive dresser that has enough storage to put all your stuff in, with another lock. Even a mini fridge. A pretty nice bathroom with the toilets. You even have this cool bamboo towel rack and a shower. And even look at this. I feel like so many hotels don't have shampoo or soap in the shower, but this place does. They even give you a Head and Shoulders. It does look like it's been open, but and then last but not least, you have the bed. Oh, that wasn't that nice. So these past couple of years, I've definitely been spoiled a bit with some of my stays. But I will say that there's something that just gives me this sense of adventure with staying in a place like Misi Guesthouse. Being surrounded by a bunch of other travelers, and it just makes you feel like you're on an adventure and traveling instead of on vacation. All right, so now just came down to the beach for sunsets. It's one of those sunsets where it looked like it was just gonna be gray and not beautiful, but then Bali just delivered like it usually does, and we now have the most pink cotton candy sky I have seen on my whole trip yet. Also, we made a new friend.
Hello, Magnus.
This is Magnus.
Nice to meet you.
Magnus, where are you from?
I'm from the UK.
Just stopped me and he did an interview with me.
Yes.
Where we talked about, well, you're like an anxiety coach?
Yeah, so I help people with all sorts of phobias, health anxiety, social anxiety, travel anxiety. Yeah, and I was just really curious for how Brett's overcome his own fear of going at it alone, traveling the world and starting a YouTube channel and putting himself out there. So I was really curious about that.
Well, I appreciate that. And thanks for coming up and saying hi. And where can the people check it out?
Anxiety recovery specialist.
And now we are gonna enjoy the rest of this Bali sunset. Missy Guesthouse, not bad. Not bad at all. So for the Brett Conti Hotel Index for Missy Guesthouse, I would give it, for comfort, the AC did work fine. There was decent water pressure. The bed did feel like a piece of plywood. Oh, that wasn't that nice. But overall, I would say it was fine. I give it a 7. For location, it isn't in a bad area, but did have to deduct some points for that road. And you do also have this beautiful view, so I went with an 8.4. For amenities, it was better than you'd expect for $10 a night, and you do have a pool, so I gave it a 7.8. Then for value. So where else in the world can you get your own private room with an AC and Wi-Fi for just $10 a night? So Misi Guesthouse value, a 9.2. Design, it was nothing crazy. It was just fine. For 10 bucks a night, you get a lot of just fine. So for design, I went with a 7.1. Giving us our score of Misi Guesthouse here in Canggu, Bali of a 7.9. But now time for our next place. So now I wanted to show you guys what $100 per night gets you here in Bali. So here's a quick tour in 20 seconds. Pool, sunbed, sunken couch area, big TV, a 6-person dining room table, kitchen, outdoor shower, floating staircase, upstairs bathroom with his and her sink, a big king bed. Oh, that was actually pretty nice. And then upstairs, you do also have this desk area with a big TV and then this view of all the greenery. Not too sure if I'm supposed to do this. Okay, so now for the Conti Hotel Index. For comfort, so the quality of this place is pretty solid. So I went with an 8.7. And since the location is just walking distance to the beach and you're also surrounded by so many different cafes and restaurants, I went with a 9.4. And amenities. So you do have your nice private pool area. You also have a snack bar that you can pay additional for. And another thing I will mention that here in Bali, pretty much every single place, no matter the price, you do have your room cleaned just about every single night. So amenities, 8.2. Then value for this place. For $100 a night, you really can't beat that. Compared to the rest of the world, you don't really get something magnificent like this. So value, 9.3. Then last but not least, for design, it's a pretty standard Bali layout for a villa, but they did use nice marble and even concrete, where the $50 per night place was more of sheetrock and wood. So design, 8.6. Giving us the average score of an 8.8. Not bad for $100 Bali. Not bad at all. So now for these last few places, we are entering into luxury territory, where I just made it here to Desahhee, which is arguably one of the best designed hotels in all of Bali. It is also a 5-star hotel, in which I'm about to show you guys exactly why. Now, what I love about Desahhee is that, sure, there are Four Seasons, there's Ritz-Carltons, and all of these big chain luxury hotels here in Bali, but doesn't jeopardize you still getting a Balinese experience. Since to get to my villa, you have to walk through the jungle, where you then open up your handcrafted Balinese door to your own private oasis. So for comfort here at Desahhee, you know, there are some of the cheaper hotels where you have a bunch of creepy crawlers and critters roaming around your room, but here you definitely don't have that issue. It seems very clean and very pristine. And all of the rooms do have a king bed, which I must say are very comfortable. Oh, 10 out of 10 bed. So for comfort, I'm giving Desahhee a 9.6. Then in my private villa, I do have my own private pool as well as my own hammock. And while there is no gym here on the property, Desahhee does offer a free yoga class every single morning. And then the room does come with a bar with some coffee, tea, and some soft beverages. But if you do want the alcohol, you gotta pay extra for that. So for amenities here at Desahhee, I would give it a solid 9.1. Then for value here at Desahhee, I would have to score it very high, since for about $300, depending on what season you do come, you get such a luxury 5-star experience. Giving Desahhee a score of a 9.6. Then for location, Desahhee is great that it's in the Canggu area and you're close to all of the best restaurants and even 10 minutes away from the beach, but it's just outside all of the chaos. So for location, I'll give it a 9.2. And now what's probably my favorite thing about staying here at Desahhee is the design of everything. Or even right now, I'm in this bathtub that was like hand carved out of a rock. Everything is beautiful. So for design, I'm gonna give Desahhee a 9.7, giving us our average score on the Brett Conti Hotel Index of a 9.4 for Desahhee. Well-deserved score, Desahhee. So one thing that I've realized from traveling the world this year is just how much mental space gets taken up from worrying about people. Like when you don't hear from someone and your mind just starts going places. And that's exactly why I started using an app called Hey Polo, who are the sponsor of today's video. It's a privacy-first location sharing app, but what I personally like most about it is it's less about tracking people and more about peace of mind. Because with Hey Polo, the person who is sharing their location is always in control. So it feels more like trust and not surveillance. And for me, especially being on the other side of the world, it's nice knowing like my friends got home safe, my family's good, without constantly having to check my phone. And it also works the other way around, since I do know a lot of my friends and family are constantly worrying about me as I am traveling to all these different countries. So with Hey Polo, they don't see the exact location, so they're not like surveilling exactly where I am, but they at least have a rough estimate of what neighborhoods in what city and what country. So actually, this is probably my favorite feature about Hey Polo, which is their low battery alert. Since there's so many times where I'm out exploring a new place and don't have access to a phone charger all day. So it'll alert all the people I add to my groups and let them know that my phone's about to die rather than me going MIA. It's honestly just one of those small things that removes so much stress from your life. So if you want that same peace of mind and protect your loved ones without spying on them, get Hey Polo with 40% off your first year with using code BRETT. Or you can go to heypolo.com/Brett. Okay, now back to Bali. So I just made it here to Bambutel, and this place is incredible. I mean, you have your own waterfall coming from your bed. I'm gonna turn that off though, one sec. But the design, the amenities, the views, let me show you guys around. Now first up, I'm gonna show you guys the amenities and just check out how cool this gym is. Absolutely beautiful gym. So in addition to the gym, Bambutel also has its own spa on its property where you can get a massage or go in the sauna, as well as this beautiful pool with multiple restaurants, in which I must say, the food here is delicious. They also have this yoga studio where every morning they have free yoga. So if you're looking for a place for your honeymoon or even a solo retreat like myself, Bambutel is perfect. So for amenities, I would give it a 9.5. And now time to show you guys the villa. So then once you enter your villa, you have so much privacy and are greeted with this incredible view of the rice fields. Then you also have some chairs to lay out. They also have a record player, which I must say is a lovely touch. Your living room area, fully stocked mini bar with so many snacks. I think we even got some more over here. Yep. There you go. And what I would say is probably my favorite thing about the Bambutel is that everything is handcrafted down to even where they store the Nespresso pods. Look at that. That is some fine detail right there. Then if you come on through the back, you have the bathroom with probably one of the coolest doors to a bathroom I've ever seen. I might have broke it, but I think it's good. You also have your own private pool, which is heated. And then the room is 2 stories. And once you come upstairs, you have the 2 bedrooms. So with the 2 bedrooms, one of them is maybe more of a hangout since it is completely outside. You do have the bug net to keep you from bugs if you do wish to sleep outside, and it'll be more of a glamping experience. But I plan to sleep in the inside one with AC. Also a part of this hangout room, you do have your iconic Bali nets. While these Bali hanging nets do look cool, they are usually not comfortable whatsoever. But this one, I must say, is quite comfy. Bambutel is truly a work of art. It's a masterpiece that all of this is handcrafted from bamboo. So for design, Bambutel, I am giving a 9.8. Well-deserved Bambutel. And now last but not least, you have the main bedroom. You do have a TV and also most importantly, an air conditioner. So for comfort for Bambutel, I will give it pretty high, since typically staying here in Ubud in the jungle, you have all these rooms where it is still just infested with bugs and critters. And here at Bambutel, they do a really good job at minimizing that, as well as giving you a luxury experience. I mean, if you are paying this much money, you do want a high-end experience. Also, the beds are super comfy. So Bambutel for comfort, I give it a 9.5. So Bambutel is about an hour-and-a-half scooter ride from Canggu and is kind of in the middle of nowhere, which for staying in a place like this, that's kind of what you want. So for location, with having this beautiful view of the rice fields, I will still score Bambutel a 9.3 for location. Now for value. So you do get this pretty massive villa that has so much privacy with your own private pool, but it does cost around 500 bucks. But relative to the rest of the world of what you would normally get for 500 bucks, it's nothing even close to this. So for value, a 9.4, making the final grade for Bambutel a 9.5. So this morning, we are about to go stay at the most extravagant property I've ever stayed at in my life. And I'm feeling great. Since I did want to say how I used to feel super sluggish in the morning and would take hours for me to mentally and physically get ready. But that's why I spent over a year creating Jumpstart from my tea company, Belief. Jumpstart has lemon, ginger, turmeric, some green tea for a little bit of caffeine, as well as L-theanine to help with your mind and focus, then some peach and honey for flavoring. So good. And I have traveled the depths of the Amazon, through India and Sri Lanka to formulate the best teas that help optimize every moment of your day. And I did want to ask for any of those of you who have supported Belief, if you could send me a selfie or a photo of when you use Belief throughout your day to hello@drinkbelief.com. It would be greatly appreciated, since the plan is to put those photos in these YouTube videos. So if you ever wanted to be in a YouTube video, this is your opportunity. And for those of you who have not tried Belief yet, you can use discount code BEGINWITHBELIEF for 20% off your first purchase. All right, now time for this private jet villa. All right, so it looks like we made it. Wow, this is one grand entrance.
Brad Conti,
Yeah.
welcome to Private Jet.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have a seat, please.
Okay.
This is for welcome drink. It's a
Thank
Pirin
you.
Mojito, it's non-alcoholic drink.
Okay.
Please enjoy.
So I just got my welcome drink and checked in for tonight's stay. Legit checked in. I even got my own boarding pass. Oh my God. What?
I'm coming through like a wrecking ball, going through the room. I break out like I was born to do. Couldn't stop it if I wanted to. Real good.
So now time for a tour of the private jet villa here in Bali. So after you climb up the stairs to board the plane, you come on through to the main cabin. This is the dining room area where you have a nice dining room table, couch to hang out on, and also the mini bar. And then they transformed the wings of the plane to serve as your outdoor balcony. So you have some big couches and chairs with this incredible view of the ocean. And then if we head on through to the back of the plane, we have our first of the 2 bedrooms. You have some desk space here and then a full bed. And then all the way in the back of the plane, we do have a bathtub and the rest of the bathroom. And then check this out. You have a net that comes out of the plane overlooking the pool. And then if we head on into the front of the plane, we have another shower, a toilet, and then come on around into the cockpit, his and her sink, a closet, and then the master bedroom. And now this has got to be the coolest bathtub in the world. I mean, just look at this view. You are in the cockpit of a plane. Definitely taking a bath in there later. Now, I did invite a friend to come and enjoy this private plane with me. Since last week here in Bali, I met another fellow traveler from America that just quit his job to travel the world for a year. Quite similar to what I'm currently doing. All right, Brandon, so what was the impetus with wanting to quit your job and travel the world? What was like that spark?
First of all, that's too big of a word. Second of all, the biggest thing was watching my brother get married, and it kind of just opened up my eyes to where I wanted to scratch that itch for travel. And so really, that was the biggest thing, is just watching the most important person in my life get married and know that I still wanted to fulfill something. So I was like, you know what? Let's sell everything and freaking travel the world for a year.
Wait, so can you elaborate a little bit more? So he got married and that made you want to travel the world. Is it because you felt like his life was over, or?
No, not exactly that his life is over. There's just so much that I want to explore and see before, you know, maybe I start a family or something like that. So I just figured this would be the perfect time because it's the most affordable time for me to do something like it. And it's like, what better opportunity and what better time than now? Time for me to do something like it. And it's like, what better opportunity and what better time than now?
So along your travels, I believe you're what, 2 months in?
Actually 4 months in now.
Have you stayed in anything quite like this yet?
Absolutely not. I've been staying in hostels, tents, and I would definitely say this is the most luxurious stay. I mean, I was in economy sleeping in the plane. Now we're sleeping on a private jet. The world works in a crazy way, and that's why I really want to thank you. So thank you so much for
Glad we met,
helping
bro.
me out. Yeah, so happy we met. I mean, this guy, Brett, right here, super special. We've only known each other for probably like a week and a half, and it feels like, dude, it honestly feels like we've known each other for forever. So,
Oh man, now we have a lifelong memory together.
I know. You thought you'd be getting in the Mile High Club with.
No, she's on her way.
Ready? Look, and the sun's coming out right now.
Some doing wrong, but so many doing right. Behind the clouds is a sun ready to shine. Good days happen all the time.
Guys, we're getting hit with a little turbulence. We got some rainy weather here on the plane.
Dude, look how much water's in there.
Jeez. So I am heading to bed now, since tomorrow the plan is to wake up for sunrise and enjoy every last moment we have staying in this private jet villa. But currently right now, it is pouring rain and super windy. So it actually feels like there's some turbulence on this plane. The whole thing is shaking. Well guys, I think it is safe to say that last night was the best night's sleep I've ever had on a plane before in my life. But I'll also say that there definitely was a little bit of turbulence. It was so rainy and windy last night that the plane was kind of rocking back and forth like we were actually flying. And now we are ending the last 2 hours here in the private jet villa with a Bali floating breakfast overlooking the ocean. I'm gonna enjoy every last minute of this. They're gonna have to drag me out of here. Okay, now there's one last thing I need to do before we check out. Cannonball! Taking a hot bath on a private jet. Life does not get much better than this. So now for scoring the private jet villa. Comfort, I'll go with a 9.3 with some points deducted just because of the turbulence. Location, with it being right on a cliff in Uluwatu and still not too far from town, I give it a 9.6. For amenities, from having a private pool, bathtub, floating breakfast, and 24/7 butler staff, I go with a 9.5. Now for value, $2,000 per night is a lot of money, but I mean, when do you get your own private jet? I can see this being worth it if it is for like your honeymoon or something, but I'll still go with an 8.7. Lastly, for design, I had to go with a 10 out of 10. This is by far the most extraordinary and unique hotel I've ever stayed at, giving us a score of a 9.42. That is it for this video, but comment down below where you guys want to see this series done next. And thanks again to Hey Polo for sponsoring this video.